What if your next home in Porter Ranch came with jaw-dropping sunset views, 24-hour guard-gated security, and resort-style amenities? This 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,814 square foot beauty in the Porter Ranch Estates isn't just a house, it's a lifestyle. In today's Porter Ranch home tour, you'll see a dramatic entry with soaring ceilings, spacious living areas, and a backyard that feels like your own retreat. If you've been thinking about moving to Porter Ranch or want to experience what living in Porter Ranch is all about, this one is a must-see. Let's get this Porter Ranch home tour started. So today we're bringing to you our latest listing in Porter Ranch, California, and we're located in the Porter Ranch Estate. So the home behind me that we're going to be showing to you today, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2,814 square feet of living space, and built in 1989. So I say built in 1989 because this was the first true gated community here in Porter Ranch. Most people typically think of Toll Brothers, right, the builder when it comes to Porter Ranch gated communities. But in reality, it was actually S&S, the Chappelle Brothers. And they had started building homes essentially east of Wilbur and east of Reseda Boulevard. And then this was their first entry into a gated community. So I remember before this was even built, growing up here in the North San Fernando Valley, this was an area that we used to kind of ride our bikes in for a long time. So obviously things have changed since then, but there's a lot to offer in this community. And we're going to talk about it towards the end of this video, that why I think that as far as amenities goes, it probably has some of the most that you might find here in all of the gated communities in Porter Ranch. But again, today we're going to be showing to you this home in Porter Ranch. So we are located in Porter Ranch today, Porter Ranch, California, about 30 miles north of downtown Los Angeles, off the 118 freeway. We are at the very northern part of Tampa Avenue at Tampa and Cessna. Now this is a 24-hour gated security, so that's one of the perks of living in here. And the HOA is really low. It's only $235 a month. When you compare that to some of the other homeowners association dues, other communities in Porter Ranch, that's a pretty good deal. Let's turn around and start the home tour. So take a look at this house right here. Again, this is going to be 2,800 plus square feet of living space. You have your 2-car garage, and then on your driveway, I like how you have the brick intertwined into it, and then you'll have that also on the walkway leading up to the house itself. You'll have your Spanish tile roof as well. And then you have this nice front porch, right? How many times do we see where you go up to a house and there's really nothing in front of the house? You literally just walk up to the front door, up 1 or 2 steps. But here you have a nice sitting area at your front porch. So if you're waiting for friends or neighbors to come by, this is a great area to kind of sip your morning coffee. And then over to your left, take a look at these beautiful ornate wrought iron doors. Once you've made it past these wrought iron doors, that double door entry, the first thing that's going to stand out when you come into this home are the soaring ceilings as you view them from the formal entry, as well as your impressive spiral staircase. You know, it almost kind of reminds me, it's almost as if you have this cinematic effect, to be honest, where you have, you know, your child coming down to go to the prom, right? Someone's dressed really impressively, right? And someone's standing there at the top. So that's what it kind of reminds me when you first see this really beautiful spiral staircase being showcased right when you come into your formal entry. So the first room that we're going to be taking a look at, this is your living room area. So this is going to be your sitting area, right? When you have your guests, friends, and family, right when they come into the house itself. This is where you're going to have your formal dining area. Now you can put in a small table. Not everybody needs a huge table, but if you needed a very large dining table, you are going to be able to have space for that. Now, just like the living room, you're going to have your plantation shutters over to your right, and then take a look at the very impressive light fixture on top. Now this home built obviously in the late 80s, right? But at the same time, here you have a modern light fixture. So you don't have one of those chandeliers that has that 1970s, 1980s style. And to me, to be honest, I think this is a very impressive chandelier. I really like it a lot. Love to get your thoughts about that. All right, so that is your dining room and living room combo area here. And then again, just pointing out, because we talked about it before, you can see the plantation shutters that you have there in the living room. Now let's turn around here. We're gonna make our way through this door into your kitchen. You're gonna be able to see that you have the hardwood flooring in here in your kitchen. You will also have it as well in your family room, the formal entry, as well in the hallway downstairs. You're gonna have your tiled counters. You're gonna have your 5-burner gas cooktop, your sink basin there in the middle. You have your stainless steel hood, your recessed lighting on top, plenty of cabinetry here. And then over to your right, you will have your built-in stainless steel KitchenAid oven, as well as microwave. And this stainless steel refrigerator is included with the sale of the home. All right, now let's take a look over here to your left. Of course, you have your stainless steel dishwasher. And then if we keep panning over to our left, you will see the French door to be able to exit into the backyard. And then if we take a step back from that, you will notice this eating area. So we already showcased to you the formal dining area. So in addition to that, you're gonna have this pretty large space where you could actually put in a bigger table if you wanted here in this eating area in the kitchen. Now I like this a lot, especially because you don't have a breakfast bar here, right? So I think a lot of times, you know, if you're in the morning, you don't want to be sitting and going into the formal dining area, right? You just want to have something right off the kitchen, and this works perfectly. You have your pony wall right there to your right to delineate the space between the kitchen and the family room, but there's one more space I definitely want to show you, and that's going to be your pantry. So here you actually have a walk-in pantry, right, to be able to store everything that you need here in your kitchen. It has all the shelves. You have a total of 5 levels of shelving in your walk-in pantry. So it's kind of hidden there. It doesn't really stand out, and that's the way you really want it. And then right after this pony wall, like we were talking about, this is going to be your family room. So this is where everyone's going to be for, you know, to watch the big game, right? You're going to have your brick fireplace with a gas starter. And then take a look at the impressive built-in cabinetry and shelving here in this space. Once again, you're going to have the recessed lighting as well. And this is just another sitting area for you to be able to enjoy. It doesn't necessarily have to be just for the big game, right? To watch whatever you want to watch on your television screen. And then over there, you're going to have your double French door entry as an access point into your backyard. Last but not least, you're going to have this wet bar. Now this is very common in the 1970s, 1980s. It's a great space right here. And you know, especially if you're having drinks, right? You can be able to store things in these cabinets, right? And so this is something that a lot of people still enjoy. So you have your wet bar that's part of your family room in this space. Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. So what do you think of this beautiful Porter Ranch home in the Porter Ranch Estates so far? All right, so if you're looking to buy a home here in the greater Los Angeles area, it can be quite confusing sometimes, right? Some homes have multiple offers, some homes are sitting, some neighborhoods are softening, some neighborhoods are actually receiving multiple offers still. So there's a lot of confusion out there, right? And then I think a lot of agents kind of are not preparing their buyers, number one. And number two, a lot of the agents aren't giving the buyers the right information so the buyers can make the best informed decision for themselves. And I think as a result of that, I'm seeing on a lot of our listings too, that a lot of the buyers, they just don't know what to do. They don't know the process. They don't understand or know what to expect, and ends up elongating the process and creating a lot more stress, not just for the buyers, but for the sellers as well. So this is something that we always like to do with our buyers, is if you're looking to buy a home here in Southern California, wherever it may be, reach out to us. And you know, look, we're fortunate enough to have over 235-star reviews on Zillow and Google alone, something you can verify yourself. And as a result of that, one of the things that our clients really like about us is being able to communicate with us all the time, especially if you're buying a home. There's a lot of different moving parts, from escrow, the lender, you're having physical inspections done, right? You need to have somebody to kind of navigate that all for you, number one. And number two, to kind of break it down and explain each piece for you. So that way you're not surprised and you don't have any surprises come up towards the end of escrow. And you want it to be as smooth as possible as an experience. So for someone who's been doing this 21 years, that's the advantage of being able to work with someone like myself. All right, let's get back to the home tour. Come with me. I want to show you something pretty unique to these homes up here. Now look, today's technology may not necessitate it as much, but it is still something that I always find pretty darn cool, if you ask me. And that is here, you'll see these type of plugs throughout the house, right? And these type of plugs, what it is, it's for you to put your vacuum cleaner into it. So there's a central vacuum system here in this house, and you'll see multiple ports for that. And so you just put your vacuum into it, and all the dirt and debris goes into the central vacuum system. So pretty cool, huh? So let me know if you actually have one of those still, or if you've seen them on other houses. All right, let's continue on with the home tour. We're gonna make our way towards the front of the house, and now you can really get a great picture of what those beautiful, stunning double doors look like as you come into the house in your formal entry. And now we're gonna hook a right over here. So downstairs on this level, you're gonna have your laundry hookups, right? You have the cabinetry for linens and other items that you may wanna keep in your laundry room. That door actually leads over to the garage. And then back over here, you are going to have a sink. So you have your tiled counters, and I can tell you from experience, having a sink in the laundry room, especially if you have kids, is absolutely crucial. So as we back out of that room, you're gonna see the first of the 3 bathrooms. And then this one does have a shower with a pretty large sitting bench, if you ask me, especially for a downstairs and a guest bathroom. And so this bathroom is going to be used by your friends, family, guests that come over to visit you, as well as whoever's utilizing this bedroom downstairs. We currently have it staged as an office because a lot of people work from home. So if you wanted to have an office downstairs, right, maybe a gym, you can even make it an extra den. But I'm going to show you why you probably wouldn't want to do that, because upstairs there's going to be a room that's going to probably be able to alleviate that issue for you if that's something that you wanted to use. Let's make our way upstairs. You're going to have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms on your second level, and now you get up close and personal with this spiral staircase. Check out the light fixture as you make your way to the top of the staircase. Now we're gonna show you the primary bedroom, the primary suite momentarily. So on this level right here, you're gonna have 2 more bedrooms in addition to the primary bedroom. So over here to your right will be the first of those. And let's talk school. So school is very important. This home is in the boundaries for Castle Bay Lane Elementary, right? That'll be your elementary school. And then over here, right, there's another bedroom. Your high school will be Chatsworth High School. And actually, that high school has really improved over the last several years. And so I think it's very popular with a lot of families. And so if that's something you're looking at as well. So how many times have you seen ceiling fans? Most of the ceilings look very similar, right? Whether they be old, you got the nickel ceiling fans. But have you ever seen one like this, right? So definitely a modern touch in this home. And of course, you know, as opposed to where you just pull down the string, right, and you got that light coming on here, right, you have the light around in that circular form, extremely bright. But again, you have your ceiling fan, and in addition, you still have your mirrored closets and your plantation shutters in this bedroom. So as we back out of that bedroom, right across from it is going to be your hallway bathroom with your tile flooring, your shower and tub enclosure. You have dual sinks on your vanity. And so this will be the bathroom that's going to serve the other 2 bedrooms, as well as those who are coming to visit you in the room that we are going to show you next. And we're gonna walk over to the final room on the east side of this home, and that is going to be this bonus room. So when I told you downstairs that you didn't have to use that downstairs bedroom as a den, right, in case you wanted something else, so you have this additional space here. You could easily put a big screen TV, and you know, you probably could even make it as a bedroom if you really wanted to. I see that most of our clients, most people who end up in this floor plan or have this type of bonus room, typically like to be able to use it as an entertaining space. So if you have small kids, it's great because you can keep all of your toys in one room and they're not littered throughout the house, so you don't have to worry about stepping on something and then hence you have a contusion. So that's what we're trying to avoid here, right? So I speak from experience on that. So this is great. You can put a large sofa. Again, you got the gas fireplace in here. You have the wet bar. You have the custom built-in shelving, right? And so everything that you could possibly want is right here in this room. And then you throw in, you have a ceiling fan as well as the plantation shutters that we've seen in so many other of the rooms, that this is a great entertaining spot in this house. All right, we're gonna exit this bonus room and we're gonna make our way all the way down over to the primary suite. So with your primary suite, again, obviously you're gonna have your attached bathroom on that, and then you are gonna have a double door entry into your primary suite. So again, you got the vaulted ceilings here, and you have this large space, so plenty of room for a large bed. Of course, you have a modern ceiling fan. Also, you have your plantation shutter sliders, and then you have a balcony over here to enjoy these gorgeous views. Let's go outside. Come on, let me show you everything that you'll be able to enjoy with the views on your balcony from your primary suite. So over to your right, you'll be able to see the Renaissance community, and you see that large grassy area over there straight ahead. That's actually going to be the Holly Burnson Park, so a wonderful park here in Porter Ranch. And then across the way, that's one of the entrances into the Porter Ranch Community Park, and we're going to talk about that in a second. And then across the way from that, over there towards your left, is going to be the West Cliff community. You have a beautiful view looking towards Woodland Hills. Now, if you go back over here, right, these are the Santa Susana Mountains straight ahead. So you got beautiful views of that. So you have these amazing views of the sunset right here from your balcony. All right, we're gonna meander our way, now that we've seen the balcony, the primary bedroom, into the attached bathroom of this primary suite. You're gonna have a separate shower and tub, and then your sinks, you're gonna have dual sinks on your vanity, and you also have this nice size window here, right? Now, in addition, in between the bathroom and the bedroom itself, you are going to have two walk-in closets, one on each side. Both of them have custom built-ins, because a lot of times you'll see the walk-in closets and maybe they'll have some space for just the hangers themselves, but it's nice when you actually have some drawers and a few other things here in your closet, in addition to be able to place your shoes and other personal items. So it's great that you have not just one, but you have two closets. Although some would argue that two may not be enough. So let me know if you think that two is not enough for you. How much space would you actually need? We're gonna make our way over to the backyard. Before we do that, I wanted to tell you why so many families are moving to Porter Ranch right now. And there's a multitude of reasons. I think obviously there's some great schools up here, whether it be the Porter Ranch Community School or Castle Bay Lane, right? Just for starters. There's some incredible parks, including the Porter Ranch Community Park, the Jane and Burt Bachman Park. That's 50 acres, even has a pavilion, playground, pickleball courts, basketball courts, and my personal favorite, the outdoor ping pong court. In addition to that, you have some great shopping and dining at the Vineyards Shopping Center, again here in Porter Ranch. Some fine dining includes Lure Fish House, Gus's Barbecue, Finney's Craft House, an AMC movie theater, and a Whole Foods with its own bar and restaurant. Plus, did you know that every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. there's a farmer's market here in Porter Ranch, directly across from the Vineyards Shopping Center? You can get all of your produce, fruits, vegetable, and some great dining and crafts options. Outside, the most perfect space, you have this long covered patio going from south to north, and of course you got the concrete and the brick intertwined in between it. And then of course, look at this, look at the lemons. Let's get a close-up of that. You know, it's always great to be able to have your fruit trees. My kids, if they had this in their backyard, they would be opening up a lemonade stand pretty much every weekend, knowing my kids. So there's a few things to point out here, and these are all positive things. One, you got this great little space over here, right? Nice little sitting area, and you know, you'll be able to sit and enjoy these mountain views from this vantage point. And then what's also great about it is that you don't have a neighbor behind you. So as a result of not having a neighbor behind you, right, this is how you're able to have these commanding views. And in addition to that, you are not responsible for any brush clearance on the hillside. That is something that the Homeowners Association covers. Now, speaking of the Homeowners Association, right, this community really has a lot of amenities. This community really has some resort-like grounds, including 2 pools, a spa, a total of 6 tennis courts, a playground, and sports court. And the fact that you really do have a low HOA, that you're minutes away from everything that Porter Ranch has to offer, the hiking and biking trails, including the Palisades hiking trail close to the 118 freeway. And like we said before, this is in the boundaries for the award-winning Castle Bay Lane Elementary. Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. We're always introducing new home tours every single week, as well as market updates, what's truly happening in the Los Angeles real estate market, not what's happening 30, 60 days ago, which is what the information that the media is using right now, but really in real-time information, what we're seeing transpire in the Los Angeles real estate market. And that helps you whether you're buying or selling a home. Now, if you're selling a home here in the Southern California, we talk a lot about the buyers, but on the selling side, how do we get our homes ready for sale? So in this case, we are able to use our complimentary staging program. This house is 2,800 square feet, over 2,800 square feet. And if you just have it vacant, it's gonna feel very sterile, right? So you wanna have the opportunity to make the buyers feel that they can envision themselves living in the property, right? Being able to, how they would utilize the space, especially when you're looking at 2,800 square feet plus, as opposed to maybe 12 to 1,300 square foot home. So it's really critical that you have the home staged. Now, sometimes our sellers are living in the house, right? And that becomes a different situation where we have to kind of work with our sellers. Maybe they're going to be downsizing, getting rid of stuff, and we have our stager, interior designer come in, and we work with them to move furniture around or help them haul away stuff, right? That's all stuff that I'm able to coordinate, so you, as the home seller, don't even have to worry about that. And really, at the end of the day, the goal is for, if you're selling a property, is to be able to take as much stress as possible, because it really can be overwhelming to get your home ready for sale, to make it sure that it's show ready and your home looks better than everybody else, especially when it comes time for photos and videos. And this is why we always talk about that if 98% of the home buyers are looking online, you have to stand out online. And that's something that we take a lot of pride in. If you've looked at any of our houses online, whether it be video as well as the photos also. So don't get me wrong, like, I'm very proletariat. I've taken down Christmas lights. I've making sure that the pool is swept up, right? I've been making sure that I've had to blow the grass, right, with a leaf blower. I'm very proletariat, but we always like to have a plan in place for you as the seller, right, to make sure that your home is going to be the home that everybody talks about when it goes on the market. So any questions about that, reach out to us. Again, I'm Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. Hope you enjoyed this home tour, and we will definitely see you on the next one.